Hello everyone, welcome to my Season 3, Episode 2 review of Gotham, titled Mad City, Burn the Witch. Before I delve into the review, I want to specify that yes, I will be going into plot spoilers, so please go and watch the episode before you view this video. Unless, of course, you don't care about spoilers. Right away, this episode wastes no time in delving right into the cliffhanger that ended the previous episode, with Bruce Wayne being captured by the Court of Owls. Come to find out, this was Bruce Wayne's plan all along, which really shows kinda how he has mentally matured since the beginning of the show, how now he's able to manipulate situations for seemingly his benefit. Although they don't specifically say that they are the Court of Owls, I'm just going to assume they're the Court of Owls, so I'll refer to them as the Court of Owls. But even Bruce doesn't know that that is their name, although all the signs kind of point to that is who they are. Bruce Wayne strikes up a deal with them. He strikes up a deal with them because he knows that they are this powerful group that is capable of taking him out of the equation and essentially killing him off and potentially killing off those that he cares about, specifically Alfred. The deal he strikes up is that he will completely stop investigating both his parents' murder and who the Court of Owls are. In doing so, he will also allow the Court of Owls to continue to hide behind the Wayne name. Although he makes this deal reluctantly, at least now he knows that these people do exist and how intimately they are involved with Wayne Enterprises as well as with the Wayne family. I for one think that although he made this deal, he will probably still do some type of investigating behind the scenes. I think later on we'll see these people again. We get a scene with Jim Gordon and Valerie Vale. It's an interesting little scene between the two because they constantly keep putting these two in scenes together, obviously hinting at what comes later on in the episode, which I'll get to later. They go and see Barbara at her place that she runs to find out where Selina Kyle is, because Selina Kyle is Valerie's informant inside Fish Mooney's gang, so she believes that if you find Selina, you'll find Fish Mooney. This encounter at Barbara's leads to a very interesting, almost darkly comedic scene between Jim Gordon and Barbara Keene, because you begin to remember that these two used to have a romantic relationship with one another, specifically way back in Season 1, which seems like forever ago, and Barbara's character has changed immensely since then. And it's clear that Barbara still has this romantic obsession with Jim, no matter how deranged and crazy she gets. One of the most surprising things I found about this episode is how quickly it moves the plot along with Fish Mooney and her gang trying to find Hugo Strange. I thought that this would have at least taken a few episodes to come about, but no, the show is wasting no time with pushing plot further. It's almost as if the first and second episode are a two-part episode. The Hugo Strange part of the episode is also kind of one of the things I have a problem with. Why, when there's someone that needs to be protected, there is always really, really bad security? I know it's necessary to facilitate the plot, and it's necessary for the bad guys to eventually get to this person, to have this big climactic event, but it's really, really obvious that despite Hugo Strange being so important to the government that they would want him to be under their protection, they only really put like 4 guards on him on this old abandoned house that is just outside Gotham. Despite my problems with it, it led to a great scene between Hugo Strange and Fish Mooney, almost like this Dr. Frankenstein meets Frankenstein monster. So we probably haven't seen the last of Fish Mooney and Dr. Hugo Strange. I know there are a lot of people who really just want to see Fish Mooney killed off the show for good, and initially I'm right with them, but if they can somehow make this more interesting, I'm willing to let them give it a chance. I felt that last season moved much more swiftly without the character. I don't know, she kind of rubs me the wrong way. I feel that Jada Pinkett Smith plays her way over the top. Granted, it's a show filled with over-the-top elements to it. Even though in this episode I felt we got the most subdued performance from her, we really need to move away from the character again and really delve into other things, which I think they're going to do. I think they just have this two-part story to really set up the season, set up a couple of things. I also want to talk about Penguin in this episode because Penguin played a vital role, specifically in the end of the episode, where he let Fish Mooney go. And it was a very poignant scene between Fish Mooney and Penguin because we all know they have a very complicated past with one another. It was very interesting to see how Fish Mooney rationalized her relationship with Penguin. Whether she was doing it just to escape or whether she was doing it sincerely is kind of up for debate, but it was still a very nice moment within the episode. I have to talk about the Ivy situation because I know a lot of people are going to be talking about it. There was a lot of talk about it even before the season started, when a lot of people already knew that Ivy was getting aged up to become more like her comic book counterpart, Poison Ivy. I understand why they did it. I know they wanted to do more with the character than they could, I guess, with the younger version, but it really isn't necessary to do that. I kind of wish they kept her as she was and perhaps developed her more as a character in her younger form, similar to what they're doing with Selena Kyle. I'll be interested to see where it goes, but it's kind of being predictably over-sexualized, which is not really necessary for the show. They went a romantic route when it came to Valerie Vale and Jim Gordon. I saw it coming, possibly even from the first episode. They hinted at it even more overtly early on in this episode, and of course, by the end of the episode, they had to share a passionate romantic kiss just at the same time that Jim Gordon's old love interest, Lee Tompkins, was arriving back in Gotham on a train in a very kind of noirish, picturesque shot, you know, coming through the smoke, looking like a femme fatale. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. I mean, there's going to be obviously some type of conflict there. And I'll just touch upon the end very quickly. I still believe that Bruce Wayne clone is some form of Clayface, but that is just my opinion. Overall, I would have to say it was a good second episode. It tied up a lot of the loose ends left in the premiere, as well as opening up a few more avenues for the show to continue with. This has been my review of Season 3, Episode 2 of Gotham. If you like this video, stick around because there will be a lot more videos like this to come.